Unwind Friday, guys. We have made it. Woohoo!
Through another week.
Another week. So this is our weekend, guys. Hello. Welcome. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As you all know, I am Lissa. And as I always tell y'all, bringing the heat with a little street. Because y'all know me. Hey, we're going to bring it to you raw and uncut. We're going to let you introduce yourself.
Let my introduction bell go off. You guys, when you hear that in there, that's just my anchor right there to remind me to, oh, Lord.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We got a great topic for you tonight. You do not want to miss it.
I'm sorry, guys. That's my anchor bell that go off. It reminds me to pray and say a devotion. So that always goes off around this time. I don't even know how to stop it. So
glad you made it.
So, and I'm Marie. Marie, you know, certified life and health coach, mother, everything, lover. But tonight we want to just talk about a topic that probably all of us deal with, and that is sabotage and self-sabotaging.
Yes. So our topic is, like she says, going to be talking about sabotage and self-sabotage. Some of our key points tonight is going to be, we're going to give you examples of self-sabotage. We're going to show you signs of self-sabotage and sabotage. We're going to tell you why people tend to self-sabotage, because sometimes people may not even know they're doing it. And then we're going to show you the most important step, how to stop sabotaging and self-sabotaging. So without further ado, guys, we are going to go ahead and get started with our topic tonight. Again,
we're going to start with definitions.
We're going to start with the definition. So go ahead with your definition and the word that you're going to give the definition for.
Okay, so I'm going to do sabotage. And the definition to sabotage is deliberately destroy, damage, or to obstruct something, especially for political or military advantage. It also has other ones that I like: wreck, vandalize, destroy, obstruct, disrupt, cripple, impair, spoil, undermine, damage, threaten. Those are all connected to sabotage.
So the next one is self-sabotage, because whether you know it or not, sometimes, guys, we are self-sabotaging and we do not know it. So the definition of self-sabotage refers to behaviors or thoughts, patterns that hold you back and prevent you from doing what you want to do. Imagine that. Your own self holding you back with behaviors and thoughts that's preventing you from doing what you want to do. All right, so here we go. We're going to get right into it, guys, because we want to make this informative, engaging, and we're going to make it fun, y'all.
And before we get started, we just want to let you know, have any of you guys been sabotaged by anybody? Because we would like you to comment. Have you ever felt like you know that you recognize that you self-sabotage yourself? Go ahead and comment and let us know.
Yes. So, okay. So here are some, we're going to start with signs of self-sabotaging, right? So some of y'all, when I read this and I did my research, I was like, man, because the first one is me. I'm going to tell y'all right now, you tend to procrastinate. How many of y'all procrastinate? Do you know procrastination is a sign of self-sabotage? You dwell on your mistakes. That is a sign of self-sabotage. You break promises you make to yourself. Y'all, all the time. We do it consciously, unconsciously, because we always put ourselves last. We put our kids first, our spouses first, but we put ourselves last. So do you know that's a part of self-sabotaging, that you break promises that you make for yourself? So the thing is let's start setting dates for ourselves and appointments for ourselves and keeping them for ourselves. So the next thing is going to be, you are intensely fearful and full of criticism. You are saying those negative things to yourself. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, why did I do that? That is self-sabotaging you.
I call that critter brain.
Yes, and stopping you getting to that next level. Number 5, you refuse to seek help. I don't need nobody.
I don't need nobody.
I don't want nobody to think I need them.
I don't want nobody saying they help me with nothing.
Right. So that is one of those things. You make excuses for your behavior. Oh, well, I did that because John been stressing me out. Oh, work been headache, and you making excuses. You do not set boundaries with yourself or with others. That is a sign of self-sabotage. You do not communicate your expectations. Guys, nobody is a mind reader. Now, we got some people on here that be like, hey, I could tell you your future, but probably not. So let's set those expectations and make them clear.
Communicate with people what you want.
You have fear of hard work. You prioritize what is comfortable rather than what is healthier. You always ready to argue, even over things that don't really matter. Y'all, you ready to argue. Anything somebody say, oh, that ain't me. Oh, that ain't me. That can be self-sabotage, y'all. Y'all know how it go. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to do some sabotaging too, because it's not just self-sabotage that happen. It's people around you that's sabotaging you too. And you need to be able to identify those people who are sabotaging you and move them out, y'all. 2022, we all winning. We going to the top. Yes.
So I already gave you guys the definition of sabotaging, why somebody would, they deliberately try to destroy you, damage you. They would spread rumors on you. They would talk about, like, say, I'll give you an example, like, of other people's businesses. They probably never even visit the business or met the person, but they spread bad rumors. That's sabotaging somebody's business. Or they try to sabotage a mate. So one way a person can sabotage, a friend. So people usually try to sabotage you when you become a threat to them.
Yes.
So when you become a threat, people will try to sabotage you. So say if you had a group of friends and you decide, and you know what, I want better for myself. You might get somebody out of that trying to sabotage you because they're afraid of losing you. Mm-hmm. So sabotage can come from fear. Sabotage can come from fear. It can come from the behaviors of your friends, coworkers, colleagues, even family.
Yeah.
You know, your own inner rebellion. You know what I'm saying? So you want to just be careful with that, because people sabotage you out of jealousy. People sabotage you out of fear of you leaving them. Your own partner would sabotage you because he or she might be afraid that you might leave them if you reach a certain level. Friends do the same thing. They're afraid. Co-workers will sabotage you if they feel like you're doing better or you're getting more notice at work. So sabotage come in so many different forms, but the main line is, if it's self-sabotaging or sabotage, it is meant to destroy you. Yeah. So you want to be conscious of it and aware of it.
So those are some things on sabotage. Because remember, guys, tonight we're talking about sabotage and self-sabotage. So we kind of tag teaming this. She's giving you some sabotage. I'm going to give you some self-sabotage in case the people didn't know, for everybody joining the room. We are doing our Unwind Friday. This is meant to be engaging, informative. Let's talk about what we unwinding with tonight. All right, real quick.
So I'm unwinding with my favorite natural fruit tea. I love green tea. How many of you guys love fruit tea? This is from Bamboo. So it's a peach mango green tea, and it has real mango and strawberries.
Here, so my followers over here.
Real mango and strawberries, and it also has basil seeds in there. So that's what I'm unwinding with tonight.
And of course, you already know, I am unwinding with some Michigan wine, honey. He said, how my stepsister's doing. How you doing, honey? We are doing well. And I hope you are too. So I have some Michigan wine. We are in Michigan. Again, this is the peach winter wine. It's a very good wine. So that's kind of my choice of unwinding with. So on Unwind Fridays, I will be unwinding with you with some wine. Very good. So the next thing is going to be how self-sabotage hold you back, right? So you're asking yourself, why do I keep doing this? How does this keep happening to me? So some of self-sabotage can be very obvious, right? Some of the things you know you did. Oh, well, I don't feel like getting up right now. Or, oh, well, this, and that. You know you're doing it, right? But not all of it is going to be that easily recognizable, right? So how is it with the ones that are not easily recognizable?
So let you know what
it's
looks
going
like.
to be, so some of the things it looks like is you can self-sabotage yourself in a number of ways. Blaming others when things go wrong. That is a form of self-sabotage because you are not taking responsibility. You are saying, oh, this happened because she did that. Or this happened only because they don't like me.
Or because I was raised this way. Yes. Or this happened to me when I was a kid. Or, you know.
Right. Or I don't look a certain way. That is self-sabotage. self-sabotage, guys. And sometimes bad things happen without anyone being at fault. Sometimes we got to just take that into consideration. It happened because it happened. Nobody caused it to happen. It just happened. Sure, some misunfortunes might be solely the fault of someone else, but that's not always the case. And we have to say that. So I don't know if you were trying to join because you had wanted to talk in on this subject, but I became a little cautious of adding people in that wanted to join. But if you want to drop a comment and you want to tell me why you want to join, I'm happy to let you join in live. But we got to be careful here. But I appreciate you requesting. Here we go. So say your partner has some relationship behaviors that affect you. You decide they want to change and break up with you. You feel good about the breakup since their unwillingness to change kept you from moving forward together. Your friends agree you did the right thing. But if you don't take time to explore how you might contribute to some of the issues of that relationship, you sabotage your chance to learn and grow from that experience. Yeah. So that's just one of those things, like in any relationship, in any situationship, in any situation.
And relationships includes friendships, sisterships, brotherships, parentships, not just, that this relationship most people think we're talking about. So if you have a breakup, you just have to look at yourself and say, what part did I play in this? Because it's not always, it can be, of course we always say, yeah, that was that person's fault. Mm-hmm. But everybody plays a role in somehow. And you want to be able to take a look back so that in your next relationship, you can become better.
Exactly. So guys, when we're talking about these subjects, we want to talk about them in every aspect of life. Not just personal, not just companionships, but I have another person who's trying to join again. Again, if you can drop a comment and just let me know why you want to join.
Part of the sabotage discussion, because we don't want. Last week somebody requested to join and there was a DJ.
And that wasn't good. So if you want to join in on this topic, we're happy to add you in so that you can add in your comments and outlook on this topic that we're talking about. But I'm not just gonna add you in without knowing that. Okay. All right. So just going back in a little depth of procrastination, and this one is near and dear to me, y'all, because I always tell Marie, and she like, I feel like I work best when I am under the gun, when I am under pressure. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I don't need to get it done. I'll figure it out. And then I get to the crunch line. I get to that line and I'm like, all right, time to go. Go time. And I can get things done. And I feel like I work well under pressure. But then when I'm talking to her, she like, that's procrastination.
Because when you do something like that, you can't give it your all, your 100%. So you're lacking. So when you procrastinate and wait to the last minute, you got to slop something together. Mm-hmm. When if you would have took the time and did it the right way, it can be done the way that you imagine it to be done. Somebody can see your full potential. When you procrastinate and you have to slop things together and you do stuff, people can't see your full potential. They're seeing a piece of you because you didn't wait like you said, to the last minute. Just imagine how whatever you're trying to accomplish will look if you gave it your 100%.
All right, y'all, let's do a poll. Where my procrastinators at? Do you work well?
Some hearts if you're a procrastinator.
All right, where my procrastinators at? Do you think you work well under that time crunch or that pressure? Or do you think that it comes out worse? Because I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that because I feel like I'll do my best work when I got a little pressure on me. But again, everybody may not. So, and another thing is a good quote. If you fail to prepare, then you have prepared to fail. That is very important. And that goes in every aspect of your life. So anything you do, if you fail to prepare, then you are preparing to fail.
And sometimes the foundation to procrastination could be fear. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people fear, like, if I do reach there, then where else do I go? If I reach that, how much more am I going to have to do? So some people procrastinate because they're really comfortable with that. They say they want to go further, but they really have a fear of going further in their relationship or going further in their career because they don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, so we got a guest who want to join. We know she's going to talk about the topic, so we're going to add her in. And Holly, we see that you said nope, you don't like last minute because it stressed you out.
Mm-hmm.
It do not work well for everybody. So if procrastination,
it stresses her out too.
It depends on the situation.
It's no way you're not under stress if you're doing something last minute.
Welcome.
Hi, ladies.
Hi. So, for my TikTokers,
so long to join, I couldn't find my wig.
So for my TikTokers, we have somebody who joined in. We on 2 platforms here. We are on Facebook and we are on TikTok Live. So we had somebody join in on the Facebook Live. She's gonna probably drop some gems off. And again, if you guys want to join in on this conversation, we are happy to add you in. But don't get on here rapping and throwing a whole party. We ain't got time for that. Not right now. Not right now.
Maybe later.
So hi, Teresa. How would you like to add to this sabotage and self-sabotaging?
Well, self-sabotaging, I want to add in, you basically have to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think what ends up happening is we are so used to beating up ourselves because we're used to other people beating us up, right? You're not good enough, you ain't smart enough, you ain't cute enough, on and on and on. But what ends up happening is at some point in our life, we start believing some of those things that people said to us. So when we get ready to step out on a limb, those thoughts come up in our head. Oh my God, are you smart enough to do this? Is you good enough?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll start beating ourselves up like, no, maybe this is not for me. I don't know, Lord God, come down and, shine a light and send 4 angels to tell me this for me. And,
they looking for those signs, huh? So,
I have heard so many people pass up on greatness because, because of their own fear and doubt and unbelief, they say, Lord, send me a sign. He sent you a sign. When
they thought it was a carnival, though. They missing them signs. Yep, start initializing. So, Teresa, my question for you would be internalizing. Yep, I see my bad. Teresa, my question for you is, do you ever find yourself self-sabotaging? And if you did find yourself and you seeing those signs, what do you do to bring yourself from that? Or do you let it go through?
Yeah, I think now I'm better at managing it, but I don't think it's I'm always trying to do something next level. Like, I'm doing bigger than I did it before. And so in those times, believe me, I don't care how good you get. Those thoughts come up like, dang, do you think you got this? Is you smart enough for this? Is you good enough for this?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, because I remember that last post you wrote, you misspelled 3 words. Okay?
They watching you.
Just saying. But one thing that I do to help myself is I remember that it's not by my own might and it's not by my own strength. So I don't operate in my own might and my own strength. So
you have to trust God.
Doing something,
TikTok, she's talking about we have to trust God.
Trust God.
I'm going to be great. Because it ain't me being great, it's God being great. No matter how much I lack, no matter how much I misspell words or all the areas that I lack in. Like sometimes I'll be doing things that's like top-notch greatness with people who probably was all A students and this and that. And, sometimes, you could be like, oh my goodness, you got all these people up here and they, probably was like the best of the best in their grade and blah, blah, blah. And I remember, man, God got all knowledge and he got all understanding. And everything I do is not in my own might or not even in my own knowledge and understanding. I have walked out on so many things with God's knowledge. Like I didn't have the knowledge for it. So I always tell people, if you're a Christian, because I know everybody not a Christian,
right,
you have to remember that God said in his strength and in his might, he has all knowledge and understanding. So it don't matter what you're lacking. It don't matter what you lacking. It don't matter if you was in special ed. It don't matter. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm going too far.
No, she was making a noise.
That wasn't me.
That was you. She's making a noise in her. And I'm like, what is that, bro? She didn't even know she was making it.
She tripping, bro.
Okay. Hey, we'll listen back to the live. All right. So, that was some self-sabotage, and that was some advice from our business guru, Teresa Mosley. I don't know if you guys know her or don't know her.
Teresa.
But we're going to let Maria get into some sabotage, because I believe sabotage is just as important as self-sabotaging, because sometimes we surround ourselves with groups of people that we believe love us, that we believe want to see us succeed, that we believe that want the best for us, and that is not always the case. Everybody in your corner is not on your team. I'm going to say that again. Everybody in your corner is not on your team. And it's time to start finding those people and weeding them out.
Because the reality of it is, if people if they have self-sabotaged themselves so much to the point that they're down, they can't see what you see. Mm-hmm. So if you have big dreams, they can't root for that because they can't see it. Now, I have a perfect example. If any of you guys watch Bel-Air, the new show Bel-Air with Will Smith, how his friend was angry at him because he wanted to stay in a better environment, and he was like, "Oh, where that leave me at?" Mm-hmm. So he said, "But you're supposed to be happy for me." That's a perfect example. Now, if Will on there would have left, he would have self-sabotaged himself. He would have allowed his friend to pressure him to self-sabotage himself when God had placed him in a better environment so that he can become even more greater than what he already was in the hood.
Right, exactly. And some people you outgrow. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay, because everybody not headed in the same direction. Some people is just for a season. Some people you picked up along the way, you meant to drop them off at the next stop. It's okay to be okay with that, because everybody not going to the same destination. So then the next thing, what do you have on sabotage?
So sabotage is because others don't have the courage or the boldness to take the steps that you are taking. So they will get jealous. They will feel like you better than them. So if you have anybody around who automatically, and you haven't treated them no different, but they start saying stuff like, "Oh, you think you better than me? You think you this and that?" Yeah. That person right there is trying to sabotage you, and they have some type of insecurity inside themselves that's causing them to have jealousy in them. Mm-hmm. Or if you, like I said, if you have people who just make up rumors on you or your business for no reason, or ready to jump on a bandwagon with somebody who they don't even know to attack you. Right. They're trying to sabotage you, and they're trying to sabotage you out of a lack of their greatness and a lack of them having confidence in their greatness. And so they don't want to see anybody else go any further than what they can go. So they want to sabotage these people. And we have a lot of that. One thing that I liked is that it was a soul food restaurant in Saginaw had opened. Mm-hmm. I've seen one person put out a bad post about it when they could have just probably talked to the business owners or something like that. Well, one thing that really encouraged me is because they was trying to sabotage that business when that business was just getting up on their feet. But that business was protected by God, because I must tell you, because a whole bunch of people started going to that. Sometimes God will use people sabotages to make you even greater. Mm-hmm. A whole bunch of people went and bought food and would not let those attacks go through. That's how God will protect you when you're under God. He won't let that sabotage go through, Right. And again, we say this in a lot of our lives. Pay attention to energies. Pay attention to vibes. How people begin to treat you when you're around. And matter of fact, if you got a friend who got other friends, don't even pay attention to that friend. Pay attention to the people that's around them.
And that's what I believe.
They will tell you what you need to know. Mm-hmm. Because that other person has already learned to put their mask on, that fake face on for you. But if you pay attention to the people that is around them, they will tell you how that person feel about you. They will unconsciously tell you, because they will treat you a certain way. What you going to say, Teresa?
I was going to say, I promise you that is so true. When I go around people who, claim they love you or whatever, and you go around their people, whether it's a friend and you never been around their kids or their family, when you walk in that room, how those people embrace you is based on how those people were talking about you. I mean, I have walked into rooms where, people just, "Oh, Teresa," and they love you because, that person who has been representing you in the most positive way and in a loving way, because that was their expression for you. I mean, I have met people where, I had this crazy partner before where I walked in the room with her family and they all giving me the...
They all like, there she go. Don't even
there she go.
Because everybody don't know how to be fake. Everybody ain't as good as being fake. So that's what I said. You look at those people around them. Look at their kids. Look at their friends. Look at their closest people to them. They are going to tell you what you need to know. Now, it's up to you to realize them red flags is either a carnival or it's a red flag. Because some people will see the red flags and decide, well, maybe that's not. Quit pushing it to the side, y'all, because it is a message in that, okay?
And so you guys, we're going to get back to self-sabotage because the reality of it is people that try to sabotage us, if we're protected by God, they can't. And if we recognize those signs, they can't. We move ourselves out of it. The most person that can sabotage you the most is you. So we're going to continue those. Go get through these.
And the next, So we're going to go ahead and continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. So other than self-sabotaging, another thing of self-sabotaging, I'm going to say this because this is important. You can self-sabotage by dating people who are not right for you.
Or that you already know bad things about.
That you don't know. So if the puzzle don't fit, don't force it. That's what it is. So self-sabotaging behaviors often appear in relationships. Dating people who don't check all the boxes is one common type of relationship self-sabotage.
Because you can't fix it. You can't even fix yourself, so you can't fix nobody else.
You can't fix whatever you got is what it's going to be. You can't change nobody. You can't fix nobody. So you keep dating similar types of a person, although your relationships keep ending badly. You keep finding these people with these same similarities, personality similarities. They do the same stuff, even though every relationship continues to end and it ends badly. That's self-sabotage.
Because that's like me. I don't like smoke, so I'm not going to meet a guy and date a smoker and say, I'm fat enough that I'm going to make him stop smoking. Nah, you're not. You're going to either have him smoke until he get me in good and then he going to bring back out his smokes. So don't date anybody who have traits or accusations on them that are self-sabotaging, because you will deal with it. Like, don't think because a man beat this person that you too good to get beat.
Okay. And even the Bible tell you that, but they say unequally yoked. It ain't gonna change because you want it to change. Mm-hmm. You try to make things work with a partner who has very different goals than you. Most times it's not gonna work. So, and you stay in a relationship that's going nowhere, y'all. You know it ain't work with. No matter how many times y'all break up and make up, it ain't work. It ain't gonna work. Give it up. Let it go. He ain't for you. You ain't for him. Whatever it is, if it's not going anywhere, it's not going anywhere. It's time to stop holding on to this fake hope. Stop holding on to his introduction person, her introduction person. If it's not going to work, it is not going to work.
And try to look within yourself and try to figure out, why do I keep lowering my standards for this? Yeah. Because that means you have something inside of you, and that's self-sabotage that you need to work on to make you feel like you have to be desperate enough to take on a relationship with a man or a woman who have things that's just not like Melissa said, equally yoked with you, that just not suitable for that you desire to have in your life.
Right. Have you been in any relationship, y'all? We're gonna bring the audience in. Any relationship, friendship, partnership, any relationship, that you felt like wasn't working, and you was like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. I acknowledge it ain't gonna work. It's best that we cut it off, and you cut it off. If you have, let's bring the audience in. We want you guys to engage. Because I want to tell y'all,
I self-sabotage. You know what I'm saying? I used to like drug dealers. That's self-sabotaging. I ended up losing like my house and everything when I was younger. That was self-sabotaging, knowing I knew right from wrong. Then I had to go to my pastor at that time and ask for help, because I'm like, well, did you know? I was like, yeah, I knew he was a drug dealer, but I didn't think that he would bring it to my home. You know what I'm saying? Right. But at the same time, because I knew he was a drug dealer, I self-sabotage myself, because if that's what he do, he gonna bring it to where he laying his head too.
Right. And that's how we do. We ignore them flags. So you guys, self-sabotage and sabotage, sometimes it can be obvious, sometimes but then sometimes you don't know. You don't even realize it.
I feel like this. I mean, I know relationships, you can self-sabotage yourself. But also, I feel like if you continue to find yourself in the same place over and over, I meet people and it seems like they always in the same cycle. They like a mouse on the wheel running in a circle, and they ain't going nowhere.
Right.
If you keep finding yourself in them same situations, it don't even have to have nothing to do with a relationship. It could be losing a job, or losing your car, or getting your lights cut off, and different things like that. And you continue to look up and keep finding yourself in those same situations. That's still self-sabotaging. You need to look inside yourself and figure out what is going on here. Why am I keep being in these predicaments?
Right. And I'm going to give you 3 more key points on self-sabotaging, because we want to keep it not too long, you guys. So trouble stating your needs. Again, we have our people who can't say no. I don't want to say no because I don't want to seem mean, or I don't want nobody not to like me. I want to say yes. In family situations, among friends, at work, in romantic relationships, and everyday interactions, you got to say no. Because
honoring your yes and no.
Yes, because it's self-sabotage when you don't, and you continue to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, whatever that situation look like. Putting yourself down. You guys, we can be so cruel to ourselves. Oh, I'm so dumb. And sometimes we do it. We've done it so much, and we became so accustomed to it. It's part of our everyday life. It's this girl that I work with, and she does it all the time. And I'm like, and she's like, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, yeah, I got a squirrel brain. Or, yeah. And every day she's feeding these negative things to herself, and she's self-sabotaging. I don't even know if she know it, but I always say to her, don't say that about yourself. It's not that serious. But oftentimes we do that to ourselves. Thank you for the gift. And then fear of failure. With success comes failure. Now, we got our business guru here, and she can tell you from a business standpoint and any standpoint, with success comes failure. We can't be scared of failure, because if we're scared to move forward and scared of failure, how do we plan to succeed? You want to attest to that? Talk to that, Teresa?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know how many times I have tried something and failed at it? Mm-hmm. Like, I can sit here now and say, oh, I'm a millionaire, or I got a net worth of $1 million. But before then, I have tried so many things and failed at it. But I don't even count it as failure, because if you never try, you will never be able to succeed.
Exactly. You gotta know
it as practicing.
Yes.
Because the truth of the matter is, if you never try, you ain't gonna never find yourself in a place to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, when you're working out or you're trying new things, you got to get stronger and stronger at it. And if you trying to do anything, especially business, I mean, that's something that comes with experience. And the more experience you get, the better you get at it, the better decisions that you make. And if you fail at it, as far as that one project don't work, you can never fail if you never quit.
Okay.
And one thing you said that I like is, like, you was like, look at it as practice.
I like that too.
And that's one way practice. Instead of what is it called? What it says of criticizing yourself and stuff like that, self-sabotage. It's reframing the thoughts. That's one technique tool that I use, that I teach in my coaching sessions, is teaching people how to reframe those thoughts. Like you said, don't look at it as failure. Look at it as practice. I'm practicing until I have a successful business.
Yes.
I'm practicing until I have a successful relationship.
Yes.
But don't beat yourself about it. Right, exactly.
That's what I say. One day we a family member, next day we an employee.
We didn't try something. I didn't try something, everything. Yes. And it was all practice. I feel like setting me up for this very moment that God had for me to walk in. Because without that experience, I wouldn't be who I am today. Right. And so when people are going through stuff, I'm like, count that experience. And sometimes you will be doing stuff that'll be setting you up for the future. So many situations and things that I have learned that now I'm like, oh my God, thank God I went through that, because I wouldn't have knew how to deal with this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very good. So then the next thing is going to be, why do people self-sabotage? Sometimes we do it to fit in. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we do it with expectations that are not real. And sometimes we do it and we don't know we're doing it. Mm-hmm. Because not every self-sabotage is purposely. Not every self-sabotage is meant to, with cruel intentions, right? So It's a lot of reasons why people do it.
Again, it can be inherited, being raised by a person that self-sabotage.
Absolutely. It can be taught, like you said. So with
sabotage, it can be fear too.
Fear.
Can be fear.
Yep, that was one thing we talked about, the fear of self-sabotaging.
Yeah. Some people have fear of success.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What would it be if I succeeded? How would I deal with all of that? What would I do next? Will my family still accept me? Will my friends
people treat me?
Exactly, and that's
I'm telling
fear.
You, that one right there is a big one. Because people think, oh, because you're successful, people. Not everybody welcome you with open arms. Mm-hmm. Oh, who she thinks she is now?
Exactly.
And you ain't thinking nothing. You think like, oh, thank God he blessed me.
Right? You like, girl, I'm just living as me.
We just went over that too. So the next thing is to learn what sets you off when you self-sabotage. Is it boredom? Is it fear? Things going well, self-doubt. Usually it are those things. So identifying your triggers. First, identify when you're self-sabotaging. Make it, so that you're conscious of it. And then start writing down the things that triggered you to self-sabotage. Like, what was it? Was it fear? Oh, yeah, it was fear that time that I self-sabotaged. Was it low self-esteem? Oh, yeah, it was low self-esteem or something like that. Start identifying your triggers that cause you to self-sabotage. And then, like Teresa just said, when you fail, practice how to prevent it. Practice becoming comfortable with failure. Mm-hmm. Give yourself grace. God gives us grace. Why not we give ourselves grace? Give yourself grace. Nothing is never, like I always tell them. Remember I told our instructors at the school, it's okay if your day is not an A. Because we had an instructor that would just melt if her day wasn't perfect. She thought we would be angry, but we understood that we was human and human makes errors and everything is not going to be perfect. So you guys give yourself room for error because we're not perfect, and that will help you not to self-sabotage and not beat yourself up. When you're like, all right, but don't make that like an excuse of having bad behavior. So I'm not giving you an excuse, because some people use that as an excuse. Okay, I'm just human. Yeah, I'm human. Yeah, I mess you around because I'm human.
I think for me, what helps me is I'm okay with a B+. Okay? I know sometimes we get people who they always got to have an A. They got that A mind frame. And they beat themselves up so bad. I look, Marie, like me.
Hey, you see me? Okay. You see me do it real quick. I was like, hallelujah. Marie. All right, I ain't gonna gather her.
So practice being comfortable with failure. Talk about it. If you notice certain patterns keep appearing in your relationships and just anything you do that you know that's self-sabotage, find you somebody to talk to. Find you a life coach. Find you a therapist. Find you a friend you can trust, a family member, and talk about these things with you. And find somebody who can hold you accountable and let them know your triggers. Let them know when you're self-sabotaging so that they can hold you accountable and keep you on track. And then identify what you really want in life, because if you don't know what you want, you'll be all across the board and you'll always be self-sabotaging. So get to and really sit down and identify what you want. I always try to make people, because people be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. So they become a master of starters and a master of not finishing. So you have a whole bunch of started projects but not finishing. So find what you really want to do, and that'll help with stopping with self-sabotaging. Learn when to seek help.
The bottom line. Here we go, y'all. This is the climax of the discussion, because like I said, we don't want to be before you too long and make these lives so long. How to stop self-sabotaging. And of course, sabotaging, if you see somebody who's sabotaging you, you know it has male intent. Honestly, it's not worth it.
But it's not always male intent for sabotage. Sabotage can be done out of fear of losing somebody.
True. But I mean, that's what I said. If it has male intent.
Yeah, if it has male intention, then you gotta go. You get away from it.
Get away from that person.
Evil, get out of it. If it's not from evil, try to encourage them not to be afraid, because some people are scared, like, don't do that. My mother used to be afraid, like, how do you get that? Like, remember, Teresa, when you said you went and got a car one time? That wasn't out of male. That was just out of fear, because she didn't know, out of lack of knowledge.
I remember when we first started traveling, And I started having a little money, and Mama was like, "Oh, I'm scared for you." Like, she was just like, because some people are in fear of things that they don't know or things they never had.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm like, "Well, don't be scared for me. I'm going shopping." No, I'm just playing.
So we're gonna actually give you some tips on how to stop self-sabotaging. So I'm gonna let Marie take that one.
No, so the tips on how to stop sabotage I already went over, ma'am. So the bottom line is sabotaging behaviors are often deeply ingrained and hard to recognize. And once you do recognize them, notice how you hold yourself back can be hard to come to terms with. But keep in mind, by recognizing these behaviors, you can stop it. You can catch yourself. Anytime you recognize you're doing something, you can stop yourself. And by stopping yourself, it's like training yourself. Anything that we practice like reframing your thoughts when you're criticizing yourself. No, I can do this. One thing that I would do is I had a scripture. When I used to be like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. That's self-sabotage, telling yourself you can't do it. I stopped saying that, and I will only say the scripture. Even when I felt in every part of my body I couldn't do it, I will always say I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me.
Yes.
So changing how you talk to yourself, changing how you think about yourself is a way that you can stop self-sabotage.
Yes.
Reframing your thoughts. Reframing your thoughts. Changing that thought. If you have a negative thought, try to say, so if you have a thought that say, I can't even think of one right now.
But while you're thinking of that, another thing is when you think of self-sabotaging, think about who's watching you. For all the parents out there, your children are watching you. They're not watching so much as what you tell them to do. They watching what you say and what you do. I noticed that because if I happen to self-sabotage or I say something negative, my daughter automatically go, Mom, don't say that about yourself. You're beautiful. You're strong. Even if it had nothing to do with that. So I know that I'm dropping those seeds in her. If I see her say something negative, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. You can do anything you believe you can do. So when you practicing with your children, and if you do it to yourself, think about what your kids are seeing. Think about what they're seeing and what they're going to react and how they're going to start doing. That's what we said. Things can be passed down because so often we say things and we do things and then we'll somehow, them kids will surprise us, won't they? You will look up there, say something you didn't say it or do something you done and you like, oh my God, I didn't know she was watching me. So when you think of self-sabotaging, think of who's watching you, how it affects you, and how it affects the people around you. Teresa, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us on
think
tonight.
About how it affects your goals and your dreams and where you want to get to life. So I want to say, if you think that you can't do it, if you doubt that you can't do it, I would like to say you can do it. But if you speak that you can't and believe it, then you can. So change your thoughts. Change how you speak about yourself. Just because you think it don't mean you have to speak it. You can speak the opposite from what you're thinking and change that thing around. But it takes practice. It's not easy. So watch out for sabotage and watch out for self-sabotage. And we love you guys and we'll see.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Let me give you the action step.
All right, action step.
Your action step for this week is to recognize triggers that cause self-sabotage. Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it low self-esteem?
Anxiety.
Is it desperateness? You know what I'm saying? Is it anxiety? That's your exercise. And then change that around. Practice on changing around. That's your exercise for the week. Thank you guys for joining us and sticking with us. We went a little longer this week.
As always, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here every Friday. We want you guys to drop us some topics, some things that you want us to touch on. We will do the research for you. All you have to do is drop the topic in the comments, and we will go back through the live.
You did your 557.
Look at you! Come on with last week. The breathing technique. I love it.
That's awesome.
So last week, guys, what he's talking about last week, we did the anxiety, like high functioning anxiety, and the action step last week was practicing your breathing tip, and that was the 557. So very good on practicing your action step. So this week action step, you're gonna be looking for those triggers in this self-sabotaging.
And the sabotaging and the people that's closest to you.
Yes. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.